Part of this show that I think is really fun is doing the blindfold test. Nobody escapes it. And for you, it's going to be an all-Canadian edition. So you can prove your honorary Canadian status. All right, going into Don's blindfold folder here.
All right. The blue on the street, loose sink and bleed under sky so smoky blue green.
Oh, it's Gordon. Oh, right. I didn't recognize this song. Yeah, Tragically Hip. Beautiful.
Yes, dead on.
Just that wonderful thing that happened in his voice when he would go up an octave. You know, there's so much humanity in him, you know. Yeah, you can't miss that. Oh, I miss it terribly.
Yeah, anyway, of course, and it's coming up to Canada Day, so it was it definitely had to play a Tragically Hip, and seeing as how you toured with them, seemed like a good choice.
It was wonderful to be here. I mean, sad, but wonderful to be here after he died and to see the whole country basically taking time to mourn. Everything seemed to stop in Canada, and people just went, let's listen to this beautiful music. Let's give Gordon a good send-off by like honouring the music for a little while. I just thought that was fantastic.
It's one of those times in history where Canadians were brought together through their grief, through their love of him and the Tragically Hip's music, and it's what makes us feel Canadian. I think we're a big country. We're really spread out. Vast differences between the provinces, from the West Coast to the Maritimes, but there are certain things that do bring us together, and this was one time. All right, 1 for 1, Don. Going on for number 2.
It's Bud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down a highway smiling. The Spuds are big on the back of Bud's rig. They're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. Now from Charlottetown or from Summerside, they load him down for the big long ride. He jumps in the cab and he's off with the pride so big old. He's got to catch the boat to make Ferman time, then he hits up that old New Brunswick line. To Montreal he comes just a-flying with another big load of potatoes. It's Bud the Spud from the bright red mud. Roll.
I didn't expect you to get this one. But it is, it's a real cultural icon, Stompin' Tom Connors.
Okay.
Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I have heard of him.
So the song is Bud the Spud.
Yeah.
And it's one of his biggest hits.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's one of those beloved figures. He had a little bit of an outrageous personality. He's another one of those that stir our Canadian hearts, is Stompin' Tom Connors. From the Maritimes. He's originally from PEI.
I got a lot to learn. I got a lot to learn about potato-centric music in general, I think.
But if you're going to become an honorary Canadian, you've got to embrace Stompin' Tom, I have to say.
Okay.
Okay. Next up.
This is how things get over. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. Lover, hater, hater, lover. Lover, hater, hater, lover. This is how things get better.
Is it Jane Siberry?
Hold your breath and wait for summer.
Good guess, though. Yeah.
Lover, hater, hater, lover. Lover, hater, hater, lover.
Oh, it's not Veda.
It's Veda.
Oh, right. Oh, cool. I didn't know this song. Oh, cool. Veda Hilly. Beautiful.
So, yeah, Veda Hilly, lover, hater, icon. She's been around, 20 years now. She's had a really interesting career. And
I've sshe musical that she wrote.
And
I did a little gig with her too.
At the Culture, right? A little bit like you with her stories that she weaves with her lyrics.
Yeah, I actually saw the first and one of the best live stream concerts I've ever seen. She did a month or 6 weeks ago, coming from the Colch.
Yeah.
Just her alone, Vader alone with the piano, and it was really cool because you could. It was being remotely controlled, so that when she finished a song, all of the microphones of the audience got unmuted.
Oh,
So
because she
people
was
could
on
applaud.
Zoom, so you could actually
Yeah.
hear because
Yeah, you could see everybody too. You
it's
could,
one of those strange things. Like you've done live streams yourself. Is it weird playing into a room, but your audience is out there in the cyber world?
yeah, but I mean, you get used to it really fast because you have all these comments streaming up, and some of them really inappropriate too. Like I'm watching without pants on. That wasn't during Vader's show. That was Ivan Coyote did a show, and there was somebody sharing a little bit too much.
Is it a bit distracting though? Like you're
Well, if
you're-
you could
you're
see them without
performing,
pants on, it would be very distracting. But no, this was.
But your stream of comments, like people are like I've watched your live streams, Don, and like people are just like
People talking to each other.
Yeah, they're
People-
talking to each other, but they're yelling at you like play this song, play this song.
Yeah.
They keep shouting requests through the comments. And
It was cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I must admit I was starting to forget some lyrics because I was reading the comments.
okay.
Jesus hangs behind the clouds above the nation doors. His window box boasts crimson flowers fresh cut the day before, and you couldn't find a smile if you nailed it to his face. But Jesus Christ hangs his head with grace, and Venice is sinking. I'm going home.
It's not Spirit of the West, is it? Okay, cool. Cool. See,
Yeah.
I don't know that song, but I know the sound of the voice and the accordion and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, great guest. I'm skewing this to Vancouver bands.
Okay, cool.
But John Mann, beloved singer,
Yeah,
leader of
another one who passed
Spirit of the West,
recently.
one of my favorite people who passed this past year in November. So really sad news for Vancouver, and he was a force of nature. And a big part of my history in Vancouver. I arrived in the 80s, and Spirit of the West were getting going, and were so fun. How many shows that I get to see them and jump around to their great music at the Commodore. They played there a lot.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
played Richards on Richards and the
Yep.
Town Pump, which is no longer around. So great. Just I needed to, or wanted to, give some space to John Mann too. But great. I'm thrilled that you guessed that one. Okay. One more?
Yep.
One more.
See,
Okay.
when you
Essential
talked
song.
about this before, I said that I would say Nickelback for everything, and you said, oh well, there isn't any Nickelback, so that at least I can cross that out.
Yeah, there you go. It's a good process of elimination.
A Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride. Those mind is not for rent. Don't put him down as arrogant. His reserve a quiet defense, writing out the day's events.
I was hoping you'd play the New Pornographers because I've been listening to them, but that's not the New
It's not the New
Pornographers.
Pornographers. They go back to the 70s, this band.
No, sorry.
It's okay. Sean, what's your best guess? It's Rush.
Oh, is that Rush? Oh my God. Oh. Yeah. Okay.
What's your knowledge of Rush? I mean, they're obviously a big Canadian band. They sold tons of records in the U.S., maybe not New Zealand, but
No, there's in New Zealand, the Guess Who was a big household name in New Zealand, and then Bert Cummings solo, really big. But yeah, no, Rush, I don't think anybody ever played Rush in New Zealand. Bachman Turner Overdrive was played a lot
yeah.
in New Zealand. In fact, my first band that I was in when I was 15, we used to do 2 Bachman Turner Overdrive songs.
Ah, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So,
Well, it's
yeah.
interesting. Like, Larry and I were in Seattle just before COVID hit. I guess it was February. Went to a club, and this Portland band called March 4th. They're a marching band, so it's all percussion and horns. Like there's like 15 people on stage,
Yeah.
and they did a cover of this song, Tom Sawyer, and everyone started singing along. We're in Seattle, and
Okay.
and they were so into it, and of course.
That would have sounded amazing with a marching band.
Yeah, it was. It was really powerful. They did a great version of it, and we're proud Canadians. So of course, it was just a real Canadian moment for us to be in the States and to hear Rush celebrated and appreciated like that. But well, there you go. That's the end of the blindfold. You got half of them, which is
You
pretty
didn't
good.
play any Matt Anderson?
I keep that paper in my pocket from when you wrote your number down. I take it out and I think of you every time I see a quarter on the ground. Whoa, 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 whoa.
You should have just sent me requests.
Or David Miles. I was re-listening to some David Miles that I'd really loved.
Whoa.
Drinking margaritas, sitting in the sun, counting up my worries, can't think of one. How'd I get so lucky? Lucky me.
Well, there was lots to choose from. You know, as I said, it was fun for me to go in, and it's like, oh my God, what are the quintessential Canadian, or what? I sort of tried to think, what would you enjoy too? And so we'll end with one of your songs. What would you like to play?
This is called Bathe in the River, and the next thing that happens with this song for me is that I fly back to New Zealand and go into quarantine, and then I come out of quarantine and I'm part of a TV series which is about reasonably well-known New Zealand songs being translated into Māori, and there's like eight episodes, and they're doing one song per episode. For me, the song is like a gospel song, but it doesn't involve God or Jesus. It's a secular song. It's about wanting to jump into the world of people, and like I'm sick of tiptoeing around the edge. I want to be with the river of humanity. I am part of this. You know, I want it to wash over me. You know, I'd had that sketch sitting around for ages, and then I wrote the music for a film, and the final scene had to be everybody singing a song together, and so I finished the song quickly for that, and then that song. The film was a bit of a hit in New Zealand, and the song was an even bigger hit, probably bigger than any song that I've written, any song that I've sung myself. And then the cool thing was that a lot of different Māori groups started picking it up and using it, because there's a big tradition in Indigenous New Zealand for song competitions where they take an existing song and set new Māori words to it, and then perform it with actions and lots of like traditional performance elements. And so that song had actually been performed in about 3 of these different competitions over the past maybe 15 years. It's been going in New Zealand, gradually building. It's a real privilege. I mean, to have a place which is in the process of decolonisation, but the colonised people were all all spoke one language, all speak one language, and that language can be revitalized. And,
Yeah.
you know, that everything happened in New Zealand that happened here. There were residential schools where speaking your own language was punishable offence, and the language nearly died out. So to be an artist in sort of at the cusp of that kind of change,
Yeah.
it's really going to be great.
Well, congratulations.
Like a bird through prison bars, I'm escaping. And behind me on the long highway lies all that I've forsaken. Cool river flow, I'm bound for wherever you go. I'm gonna bathe in the river, gonna hold my head up in the river, not gonna worry anymore, gonna reach that golden shore. I don't feel afraid, 'cause now I see that if I believe, I will be free. Wide river flow, I'm gonna learn whatever you know. I'm gonna bathe in the river, gonna hold my head up in the river, not gonna worry anymore, gonna reach that golden shore. Yes, I will. Mighty river, hear that rushing sound. Cool, clear